The car was created by Hollywood designer George Burris in 1966 specifically for the TV series, Batman. Burris made the Batmobile based on the Ford Lincoln Futura, which cost $250,000, but Ford sold the car to the designer for $1. True, the designer spent another $15,000 to refine the superhero car. He did all the work in 2 weeks. In total, several copies of the Batmobile were created for the shooting, but already on the frame of other models, Ford Galaxy and Ford Thunderbird. That's why the first copy is considered the most valuable. The Lincoln Futura is a 2-door, 4-seat coupe 5.7 meters long. The main feature of the exterior is the huge plastic fenders at the back and the prominent front headlights. It was this futuristic look that attracted Burris' attention. The designer turned the car into a 2-seat convertible. In 2013, Batmobile sold at the auction house, Barrett-Jackson. Retro car collector Rick Champagne gave $4,600,000 for the rarity. This set a new record for the value of cars that starred in movies. Batmobile, surpassed by several tens of thousands of dollars, sold in 2010 Aston Martin DB5, which was driven by James Bond in Goldfinger. The Swedish manufacturer of sports cars introduced this model in 2008. The uniqueness of the model is that the coating of the carbon fiber panels contains diamond dust. The color of the body changes into 3 different shades depending on the light. Hence the name, Tre Vita, translated from Swedish as 3 white. Initially, the company wanted to produce 3 copies of the car, but it proved difficult to make the diamond coating, so the manufacturer limited itself to 2. The car is equipped with a 4.8-liter engine with 1,000 horsepower. Up to 100 km per hour, the sports car accelerates in 2.9 seconds and up to 200 km per hour in 8.8 seconds. The top speed is 410 km per hour. Both hypercars were purchased by Fusion Luxury Motors, a luxury car boutique. In 2015, boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. bought one car for $4,800,000. In 2017, the athlete put his car up for auction. Whether he was able to sell it is unknown. The car was developed in 2005 specifically for the German tire manufacturer Fulda. The company created a new tire design and wanted a supercar to demonstrate it. Fulda asked to make a futuristic car with aggressive body proportions and necessarily in black gloss. The designers took a Maybach 7 limousine as the basis, and students from a German polytechnic college were involved in the design. The supercar from the future was created in less than 6 months. The car is equipped with a 700 horsepower engine, which accelerates the supercar to 100 km per hour in 4.4 seconds. The top speed is 351 km per hour, while the tires of the Fulda can handle speeds of over 370 km per hour. Fulda paid $8 million for a single copy of the Accelero. But in 2008, American rapper Birdman wanted the same car for his collection, and ordered it from Mercedes for the same $8 million. The irony is that in 2011, Fulda sold its car at auction for only $5 million, although auto journalists argued that if the owners had kept the car for a few more years, they could have raised $10 million. In August 2019, Bugatti turned 110 years old. In honor of the anniversary, the company presented the 110 supercar. From Italian it translates as 110. The designers were guided by the design of the Bugatti range from the 90s, but the filling is modern. Under the hood, the car has an 8-liter engine with 1,578 horsepower. The car accelerates to 100 km per hour in 2.4 seconds and has a top speed of 380 km per hour. Bugatti said that the 110 will be produced in only 10 copies. The selling price is $8.9 million. All cars were bought out at the pre-order stage. Henry Ford really wanted his car to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans International race, and decided to create a special sports car for it. The industrialist succeeded. The sports car won this competition 4 times, from 1966 to 1969. This is one of only 2 extant first series GT40s in the world. This particular 1968 model took part in the filming of the cult film Le Mans in the 70s. The movie is dedicated to the famous race, and the GT40 was used as a mobile camera. The roof was cut off to film the car, but then it was restored. The bicycle is equipped with a 4.7-liter engine with 440 horsepower. This is the first model in which the body parts are made of carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is the same as carbon fiber. The material is twice lighter than steel, but not inferior in strength. True, carbon fiber is more expensive and easily scratched. In 2012, at an auction in Monterey, USA, the famous Ford was sold for $11 million. The buyer preferred to remain anonymous. The Rolls-Royce Sweptail was first shown at the 2017 Villa d'Este Concours d'Elegance. This contest has been held since 1929. The organizers exhibit retro cars, always on the road, and hold an auction. The 2-seat coupe has been custom built for 3 years. According to the designers, they were inspired by the classic models of the 1920s and 1930s. The Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe was taken as the basis. The model has a 7-liter engine with 460 horsepower. However, what is under the hood of this car and how much its stuffing is similar to the stuffing of the distant ancestor is unknown. The buyer preferred to remain incognito, but it is known that he did not pay almost $13 million to keep the car in the garage. A few days after the show, where the car was presented, it was seen on the streets of Bordeaux, France. The Ferrari 250 is mostly famous for its owners. In 1961, the model was presented at the Paris Auto Show, and immediately after its closing the car was bought by the French actor and director Gerard Blanc. 3 years later he sold the sports car to his friend Alain Delon. The car went around until another collector put it in his garage in 1971. As a result, the Ferrari sat idle for 44 years. The car is equipped with a 240 horsepower engine, which allows it to accelerate to 100 km per hour in 8 seconds. The car has a 4-speed manual transmission and disc brakes. In 2015, the heirs of the collector put the perfectly preserved car up for auction. The buyer, who put up $18.5 million, is unknown. La Voiture Noire, or the Black Car, was unveiled at the 2019 Geneva Motor Show. The model was created specifically for Bugatti's 110th anniversary. The designers were inspired by the Type 57 SC Atlantic supercar, which was produced back in 1934. The body of La Voiture Noire is made of carbon fiber. The interior of the car is based on another Bugatti model, the Chiron. The car is equipped with an 8-liter engine with 1,500 horsepower and a 7-speed gearbox. The car accelerates to 100 in 2 seconds. The maximum speed is 420 km per hour. The car was sold as soon as it came off the assembly line. However, its owner will be able to get it only in 2021. The manufacturer needs a few years to finish the work. The buyer, who laid out for a unique car of $19 million, became Cristiano Ronaldo. The legendary racing car was born in June 1954. It was the first car to use a wind tunnel in its body design. Already in July 1954, the car made its debut at the French Grand Prix of Formula One races and passed its rivals by a whole lap. The car was produced in 3 versions with different wheelbase sizes. At the same time, any model could be equipped with a body that covered the wheels. The version with open wheels developed less speed, but was 40 kilograms lighter, and it was easier to control in the corners, because the pilot could see the wheels. In 2012, the Mercedes-Benz W196R, on which Argentine driver Juan Manuel Fangio won the Swiss Grand Prix, was sold at a Bonhams auction to an unknown collector. This model was produced in 1962 to 1964 especially for racing. A total of 36 cars were produced. Most of them are still on the road. The name of the line comes from the volume of each of the 12 engine cylinders, 250 cubic centimeters. GTO is an abbreviation of Gran Turismo Omologato, which in Italian means car approved for racing. This model won the World Manufacturers' Championship 3 times, from 1962 to 1964, and in 1962 took second and third place in the Le Mans 24 Hours race. The engine power is 300 horsepower. It accelerates to 100 km per hour in 5.6 seconds. The top speed is 265 km per hour. In the summer of 2018, American billionaire David McNeil bought the car for $70 million. Auto experts predict that by 2023 the specimen will go up to $100 million.